Good evening. My name is George Arthur Yorkman Jr. My book is The Finger of God. It was a play that I wrote over 25 years ago for the Oblate Sisters of Providence. It was to promote the cause of their founders, Mother Mary Elizabeth Lang, who formed in 1829 here in Baltimore the Oblate Sisters of Providence. So my story is about how it all happened, how it all came together. The formation, 1829, Baltimore. I was commissioned by the sisters over 25 years ago and was referred to the Mount Providence where they live to be interviewed by Sister Virginie Fish. Not at the time realizing that I had actually been taught by the sisters once in my life in the ninth grade until I glanced and saw a sister walk by that I remembered, Sister St. Paul, who was very strict. And then in the interview with Sister Virginie, she realized that I was an oblate boy at one time and decided to give me the opportunity to write this play. In writing the play of the Finger of God, I was met with all kinds of oppositions and just we auditioned. It was professionally done at Loyola College in 1995. So let me just tell you about the story itself. The Finger of God, the story of Mother Mary Elizabeth Lang and the formation of Oblate Sisters of Providence. Mother Lang met a priest back then named Father Jabeur. He was a French priest, and he was having troubles at the time teaching the Catholic children their Bible lessons in St. Mary's Seminary. And he had heard that it was a lady in town, Mary Lang, Elizabeth Lang, who was holding a free school for free children of color by her own means. And she was doing this for years, and it was recognized by him that these ladies were teaching the children. And so, that one glorious day, that one glorious Sunday, after service, he decided to introduce himself, and they met and they discussed the possibility of the Mother Lang and her three companions. Mother Lang was from San Diego, Cuba, and her companions were from San Dominique, which was Haiti back then. And they alone were teaching these children in their own home by their own means. And he decided that he wanted to discuss the possibility of these ladies becoming the church's first nuns of color in the history of America. And so my story, The Finger of God, tells how that came about that day in 1829 when they pronounced their vows before the church. And in 1832, it was recognized and authentic from the Pope back then. And so my story tells about how this was formed, some of the issues that they incurred in the formation of the Oblate Sisters of Providence, and how Father Jabeur, by good faith, recognized that this was something that God ordained him to do. And Mother Lang realized that this was a dream for her to come true. And so the two of them formed the Oblate Sisters of Providence, which are all over the world today. This is a picture of Mother Lang, a true picture of her, as we know. And so 25 years ago, I was caught up in this story of history that I had no idea of at all. And for me as a writer, it was fantastic. It was like a gift from God, and I wanted to make sure it was done right. And it took a year to write it and research it, a year of of rehearsals that went wrong. And finally, in 1995, it was performed live for 3 nights at Loyola's College professionally. And 25 years later, it's produced and published. And so I want the world to, and during that story, those years ago, it was to promote the cause of Mother Lang so that she could be recognized as a saint within the Catholic Church, which is still going on today. So this tells the story of how it was formed, and also a little creativeness of some of the things that might have happened back then, because this was still while slavery still existed. This was before slavery was abolished. And so teaching free colored kids was still a challenge back then for her. And through faith, through God's providence,